in there anymore.
You look a little light on the shoulders there, not very normal.
I thought you said that this was already done.
Not done. We have to make it official. There has to be like a vote and everyone has to agree that
Well,
who's gonna do it and all that.
so I could go
On this, maybe we skip to item number 2, and if we get one more member, we can go back and do number 1. But we can start with the presentation.
Next thing is
Oh, here we go.
Here we go.
Now we're good.
Guys, I forget what's turn my scooter on. Wow, the pickles are like the best part.
Welcome, Adam. Yeah, please do.
So how you got over, we don't know.
That's the thing about those tall cups, they can block the camera.
I wasn't sure where your camera was.
It's over here. It's a little higher. This one's a little bit up.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Okay, well, I think we're ready.
They mean, what you do?
Wasn't me. That wasn't me.
Welcome everyone to the Chick-fil-A Express. Have an agenda. We're going to start with, we can start with number 1, right?
That's right.
Yeah. So we're electing a new Arts Council chair and vice chair.
So
Uh,
Michael has served faithfully in that role for the last year or so. And so each year we pick a new one and a new vice chair, and Alex has been the vice chair. Well done, Alex. As vice chair. That's right.
I know you're gonna miss my dynamic leadership. I've changed the course of this ship, and anyway, it's been fun. I love being here. So I haven't done this before, so we want to take nominations.
Mhm. Yeah, or volunteers, either way.
Oh, volunteers are good, yeah. So would anyone like to volunteer?
You're ahead of the table. You-
I know that's
Just natural.
Looks like a self-nomination to me.
I just like all over
Find out people eating your sandwich.
it.
Right, so
No. No, I'm not, I think there are many qualified people here that could probably do it.
I think we need to look around and see who's not here.
That's always a good way to go.
That's the way I became chair, is I missed a meeting and I came back. That's funny. So no volunteers.
So one of the things I think we could probably do is, what are the exact responsibilities of the chair?
Yeah, for the most part, it's just conducting the meeting. And then also if you have agenda items, you can add them. Or you can solicit for agenda items. And Michael has also kind of done a little bit of recruiting too. That's not an official duty, but it seems like the chair would be a good person to like go out and find new members when there's an opening. So, but mainly conduct the meeting.
I mean, I came in a couple of times, maybe 3 times, and met with Peter. You know, about what we were doing and what the agenda was gonna be and that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
So it was a little bit on the side, but most of it was right in the meeting. So if you are literate and can read an agenda, you're more than qualified. I don't want to downplay this too much. It's a great honor to be the chair of this of that committee. So,
We do have Scott on Zoom too, so he would be an eligible candidate as well.
okay.
We nominate Alex as the vice chair.
That's totally fine. Little heir to the throne.
Been trained.
I accept this nomination with heartfelt thanks and gratitude.
I might need to work on that. We have some classes for that.
I'll faithfully serve the duties and execute the responsibilities of, I'm gonna switch chairs with you.
You're welcome to it.
I accept it.
Excellent.
If you
Okay.
have me.
And then you just call for a second.
We good?
Yeah.
Let's have a second.
All right, thank you, Adam.
Okay, Levine is second.
And then-
Second.
And then just all in favor.
Okay, right. Are you in
Aye.
favor?
Yeah.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no.
You're
Yeah, that's what I would have done if I was here. Okay, and now we need a vice chair. Who will take the reins of.
Next.
We gotta get our succession planning going.
So the
Flow of
chair is a 1 year
responsibility.
appointment within the 3-year appointment.
Correct.
So the presidency and vice presidency are 1 year
Mhm.
appointments.
Yep.
All right. I see a man who wants to be vice chair.
This one right here.
What? Oh, I'm happy to do whatever
Okay,
you would like.
so I nominate Adam for being vice chair.
Second.
All in favor? All opposed? Okay,
Very nice.
I turn the remainder of the meeting over to our new chair.
Oh, dang.
Can you do it from that chair, Alex? Is it
No.
okay?
Don't want to move down to the front of the room?
Well, I've got some ideas that were.
We're gonna mix it up.
City art collection. Did I do that right? That was perfect. Thank you so much. Looks like the second agenda, item is the city art collection.
Yeah, so we've invited Nathan and Holly from the library to come and join us, and they are kind of been given the assignment to be over the city's art collection. And so they're just gonna give us kind of a quick presentation about what we have, what they're doing, what their goals are. And then the idea is to think about ways that we can help them in their duties. And maybe try to get creative in different ways we can promote the art collection and make sure that it's kind of a bigger part of the city. So we'll turn it over to you guys.
So, he kind of introduced us already, but I'm Holly Grierson. This is Nathan Robinson. I'm the children's librarian and also kind of the leader of the art team. And Nathan is on the art team as well. And his other job is outreach librarian. So.
Thanks for having us here. Okay, so to start off, before we get into the collection itself, why does the city of Orem have a public art collection? I found this quote from the nonprofit Americans for the Arts that I think encapsulates it really well. Cities gain value through public art, cultural, social, and economic value. Public art is a distinguishing part of our public history and our evolving culture. It reflects and reveals our society, adds meaning to our cities and uniqueness to our communities. Public art humanizes the built environment and invigorates public spaces. It provides an intersection between past, present, and future, between disciplines, and between ideas. Public art is freely accessible. And I realize that we're preaching to the choir here. Many of you were involved in the utility box art project. This is an example from City Center Park and the work of Orem resident illustrator, writer, Jess Smiley. So anyway, just public art reflects the mission of the city and its departments to engage in meaningful ways with our community.
Okay, so the Orem City Art Collection, it began in the 1960s at the encouragement of Orem Mayor Winston Crawford, and that's when we were moving to our current location and away from our little house, small library. So we did need a lot of art to decorate the walls. It was developed over time by purchase and donation, and Max Weaver was instrumental. He was a BYU faculty member, and he solicited donations from his faculty members and other fellow teachers and friends. He has 7, you'll see one of his paintings here and one of his pieces of pottery. So he has 7 pieces in our collection. We have about 150, 170, total pieces, paintings, stained glass, pottery, sculpture, prints in the collection. So one thing Weaver said is that it's one of the best little collections in the state of Utah.
So, as part of that quote that I shared, public art is freely accessible, otherwise it's not public art. So the City of Orem's collection is housed mostly in the library. We have it on the walls in the public spaces. Some places, we do have some in storage that are awaiting repair and that sort of thing. We also have works here in the City Center and in the Senior Friendship Center. A few years ago, Holly and I also got a grant to digitize the collection, and it's all cataloged on the library catalog. So you can actually look up the pieces and get more information about it. You can also scan this QR code. The digital collection is housed through UVU's digital collections. They have a wonderful digital collection of Utah Valley historical photos, newspapers, yearbooks, as well as our collection. We have some bookmarks that I can give you afterward that would have this information as well.
Okay, so now we're gonna just highlight some of our most important pieces. This is actually our first piece that was purchased by Lorraine Jones. It's called Landscape, and Orem Mayor BM Jolly bought it for $2.50, and the city actually reimbursed him for that purchase.
This is our first donated piece in our collection. This is a Cascade from Orem, and 1970. Dale Fletcher was a BYU art professor and the director of the BYU Art Museum in the 1970s. We have several of his pieces. This is another that we have. It's our second largest piece. It's very large on the main floor of the south wing of the library. And yeah, it's a
I kind of feel like it would be there forever.
we did have to move it when we digitized, and fortunately it wasn't as heavy as we all thought.
It's really just a canvas on a stretcher. So this this is in the basement. If you ever go down to the kitchen in the south, very long painting, and he was 10 years old when he started this one. He'd been like 20 years, and so what he did is divided this painting 1-inch squares. He used lighted headgear and a magnifying glass, and he also referred to photographs taken of the mountains. So the paint family donated it into the design went up on the step, and they would enjoy this view of Mount Minnetonka. The Orem residents are really attached to it. So we really loved this. This is so great.
So the next one is probably one of the most famous Orem artists. You can see some of his work. His collaboration with Orem, he created the publicity for that. Nationally known fantasy artist and illustrator. This is kind of representative of his work. David Bassett from the mid-90s. It kind of has his fantastical elements, that sort of thing. This is the piece that we have in our collection, which is an early piece. And as you can see, there's no dragons or but I really like how distinctive this, even when it's a departure from the subject matter, the shape, the line, it just jumps out as like a James Christensen. So I thought that was pretty cool. This is some of you may have worked with her when she was here. This is James Christensen's daughter. She works over at Orem as an art teacher. She's a very talented artist and teacher. We created this piece for the opening of Library Hall. It's called The Big Show. You can go in there today afterward if you'd like. It's much more impressive in real life. It's also very large. You can see some kind of Easter eggs in there. She has an homage to her father's work and other references that are really fun to see. Which you can see here, but it's in a old frame, which was from the Salt Lake Temple. She and her father did artwork restoration, I believe, in both Manti and I think the Salt Lake Temple, as well as they did some art, I think, in the City Center Temple as well. So they were able to get this frame from when they were decommissioning it or something from the temple. So kind of cool.
And it was a fun experience for us because she didn't know how to like frame it, and she's like, hey, here's the frame, and I'm like, I've never framed anything like this in my life. So Nathan and I just had to figure out how to, so if it looks like bad, it's our fault.
It came that way.
Yeah. So anyway, this is a really famous sculptor for his time, Abertee Fairbanks. The Springfield Museum actually has about 30 of his pieces. You'll see some of his bronze sculptures there. One other thing that was cool about him is he did hood ornaments for the Chrysler Motor Company. He designed this mermaid ornament first, and they liked it so much they asked him to do an ornament for the Dodge car. What he came up with was a ram. And when they asked him what a ram had to do with Dodge, he said, when people see a ram coming down the road, they'll say Dodge. That's our, claim to fame, the Dodge Ram. I'd love to add that. Oh, yes, and then this is my slide. Jennifer Jenny Jenkins Christensen. We have 4 of her pieces. You'll see 2 here, and then some on the next slide. But anyway, she does silk screen prints, and she's one of my favorites. She grew up in Hawaii. That gave her her love for flowers. She was also inspired by Georgia O'Keeffe, as you can kind of see the resemblance there. In the 90s, she did some paintings of dried gourds. And she's done several women shows in the United States. She's done a couple in Europe. And she also has a bunch of paintings in the public collection, public collections, private collections, and then the Springfield Museum of Art. Some of her pieces as well. And actually the one on the other slide is in Library Hall. Will you go back, Nathan? This one's actually in Library Hall, so you could take a look at this one. This one is too, right?
I can't remember.
I think it's on the other side of the Stella Welsh portrait.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, so if you want to see those in Library Hall first, you can see those in person. Okay, and then this is fun because my degrees are in art history. And so if any of you know anything about art history 101, if you've taken it, you would have studied this artist. Her name is Ketta Kollwitz, and worked in the 1910s, 1920s, a German expressionist, engraver, printmaker. And so this is the piece we have in our collection. It's called Storming the Gate. And she was just known for her really dark, powerful depictions of the just common man and the plight of the common man. And you can see some of her other like woodcuts, and I think this is another etching from the same series that was based on a real revolt in Prussia, and then she set it in a contemporary setting. So anyway, and then there's a photo of her. So her son, let me go to my notes. So her son died in World War II. She was elected to the Prussian Academy of Arts, which she was the first woman to be. But then when the Nazis came to power, she lost her position, and then she died in hiding in 1945. We're doing all the sad pieces right now. Sorry to break that straight down.
Moving to another sad piece. This has been kind of iconic in the library for decades. We have a lot of people who come in and like, oh, I remember sliding on the back when I was, 5. So this is incoming number 3 by Marty Miller. So he has a background in industrial sculpture and design, and I believe he still holds these patents. Our information comes from about 10, 15 years ago, but up until the early 20th century, or 21st century, he held patents on US military equipment that was still being used by US and NATO forces. And this work is based on his experience serving in the US Army during the Vietnam War. It's a 3-piece featuring different aspects of combat. The first being fear, and then number 2 is action, and then number 3 is based on recovery, where someone's trying to gain their composure after attack. It's not to be confused with The Thinker by Ray Dan, which we have had occasionally some mistakes for that. But anyway.
I think it's funny before we move on, Nathan, I was thinking there is one, like, at least in the past, we know of one library patron who used to like avoid this sculpture because of the, undraped human figure. She just didn't want to see it. So she would like literally go around the library downstairs, like to get anywhere. Like, I don't know, she won't want, I don't know what she did when she wanted nonfiction because she'd be out of luck. So, yeah.
So it does, it's a good conversation piece. I was at the desk years ago, and this one return patron that we all had good relationships with, and he was just really sarcastic. He came in and he's like, incoming. He's like, I can tell this guy didn't really have any experience, take under fire because, when I was in the Army, he's like, you're on your belly. And said, I think it's also, unusual to be naked. And he was kind of taken aback, and he's like, well, okay, artistic liberty. So
there's some metaphor going on. Figuratively. So this is the work of J. Kirk Richards. He's pretty famous. Like some of you probably know him, and we visit his gallery a lot. I actually got to go to his academy. My sister goes to his academy, but I got to tell all the artists there about our gallery spaces and how they can exhibit their work, and that was really fun. So he's known mostly for his religious themes, spiritual narrative. I love his rainbow stuff, and he's getting more known for that. And you'll find him all over the place throughout the US, his work. The piece we have is called Toward Mount Pleasant. It was actually a commission as well by former librarian we used to work with and involved in our collection, Lori Stevens. So this is supposed to depict Star Valley, Wyoming, where her mother-in-law grew up. And it's a beautiful piece. This one's is it in the book discussion room right now still?
Yeah.
We're hoping to get it out because no one goes in that room, but,
So did she, I know Lori.
oh, you know, Lori.
She was in my neighborhood, before she moved to PG. So mission, I'm sorry, I'm gonna let you, she donated this to the city or feelings this, I mean, they're just showing some of the art.
No, it is belongs to,
It
the
belongs to
city
us.
owns it. I'd have to go back and look through the records to see how we acquired it. I believe it was a purchase. Because her mother-in-law, I believe there was a donation in her name, and that's what set up the book discussion room. So if you're ever in that room, there's a picture of her with her paint books, and it's right next to this painting.
Yeah, and I think didn't some of her donations fund like our book group sets for book club in that room, so.
Right. Trevor Southey, he's one of my favorite artists that we have in the collection. He was born in Rhodesia, it's now known as Zimbabwe. He developed his art skills at an early age when he was recovering from rheumatic fever. He was confined to his bed. He studied at Brighton College of Art in the UK and the National Technical College of South Africa. Let's see. He converted to Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, I believe in the 60s or 70s. He eventually came to the United States where he joined the art faculty at BYU. He was the founder of the Mormon Art and Belief movement in the 1970s. And his work, as well as some of the other members of the Mormon Art and Belief movement, they definitely sought to convey like the spirituality, you know, the divine nature of human beings through their art. So, you know, he was definitely a big student of the Renaissance. You can definitely see some Rembrandt's, influences there. But also, you know, kind of the ethereal nature of it, I think reflects, you know, his spiritual beliefs as well. So anyway, he's one of the big Utah artists. This piece, speaking of big, this is our largest piece in the collection. I believe it's 16 feet high by 8 feet. This was commissioned by the library. It's on the south wing and it takes up one whole big wall. It's really cool. And it was facilitated by the division manager of the Library over Patron Services, Mike Smith. So Matt Shirtliff based this on a photo of the Mercury astronauts. And when he presented this idea to us, we just thought that's perfect. The idea of discovery and exploration is kind of the perfect theme for the public library. Let me show you a time lapse of the installation from the artist. I think this was 5 years ago, maybe, on President's Day weekend. We had to come in on a day when
We'll put it up on the other.
Yeah, there we are.
yeah, we had to come in on a day when no one was here, in case it fell, thankfully.
This also kind of came about because we were losing some wind. We had a window there and with the library hall building, we were losing that. And so we wanted something kind of cool to focus on there and draw you in.
Ooh.
Okay, so we have Nathan, we brought some Tales from Tim, which is one of these, right? We have some stickers of that as well as the Dreamer that he just discussed. We've got the bookmarks and the cool thing is the Dreamer, that really huge piece. It's a library card option right now. So if you want to go get a new library card, you can choose that one. Yep. So
We have some bookmarks here with.
yeah, we'll pass those around and you're welcome to take whatever
Unfortunately,
you
the
want.
QR codes are unreadable. So there's a little design flaw there, but you know, you can
Are
find
they
it.
too small, Nathan?
Yes, unfortunately. But if you Google Utah Valley University digital art collections or the Orem City Art Collection, it'll get you there. And we have a lot of these stickers as well. So help yourself.
Thank you.
I just have a question about
Yeah, sure.
whether you have a standing budget for acquisitions?
So we're starting to develop that. Holly's been instrumental in getting us a maintenance budget, which we've been using to reframe and repair some of the damaged pieces. And I guess you know more about it than I do.
It's pretty small. Our collection is mostly grown through donation and these commissions we've gotten, like the special funding or grants. And we don't really have like a huge storage area to like, we need to display most of it because we don't have a huge storage area, but I mean, I hope that changes in the future. I know Cass Barney, she has one of the big collectors of her work, lives in the Pacific Northwest. A couple of years ago, she actually approached us and said like, she didn't have any family members. She wanted to leave this big art collection of Cass Barney. And did she?
James, wasn't it?
Oh, was it James? Okay, I can remember someone one of the artists. Anyway, so she wanted she wanted to donate it to us, and I thought, wow, that'd be incredible. It'd be great to have it in Orem, and so I'd love to like make that work. So
yeah, we've learned a lot about the practical aspects of maintaining and keeping a collection of this size is.
But yeah, we are working the library hall gallery space where we're actually going to turn that into more of a commission. Right now, like we just approach artists and they show their work there and they can sell through like their own business card. They can sell their works, but we're working on maybe, it's in the future. I'm excited if we could use that commission and get, attract like really top tier artists. And then maybe we would see some of that. I don't know if it would go to the general fund, but it would be great. I think that's a way to grow our budget and grow the collection and really make that gallery space a really like professional, like stop for the arts in Orem. In my bigger dreams, I'd love to have with the Sierra, you'd probably be able to talk about that, how Provo has kind of their monthly art stroll on Friday nights, like to have a little bit of an art stroll that would, end or start at Library Hall and just go down to the Sierra and having other businesses, because that's how Provo does it. They have other businesses, restaurants, they're just displaying art just for that night. And I think that would be really cool. Right now, we have some art receptions in Library Hall Gallery when we have a new show open and we have like we would love to have live music. We haven't done that yet, but we have like refreshments and like art projects and things for families to go. And the artist is there. Sometimes they do a presentation. So we do have some events, some art receptions in the space as well. So
we have 3 exhibition spaces in the library. There's the library hall gallery, which I think you've all seen. So then we have 2 spaces in the main floor of the north wing. And we've been able to do a lot of really fun things with that as we've expanded it. Every art exhibition that comes in, and they stay in for 2-3 months, we make some little handouts, and then on the back for families, it like has maybe like definitions of different techniques or styles or artists on the back that relate to that exhibition, as well as like some activities for families to do, like where they can like, would try to collage themselves or some of the other things.
and it's cool. They like back to they connect our little art cards. It's like a postcard of one of the paintings from the show. And then on the back, we have like a connection to our catalog and books that they can check out that relate to the techniques. And it's really cool.
Yeah, anyway, it's really fun.
Do we ever do anything for loan? Do we ever loan out pieces to have on display other places?
I think we've had
So we don't,
conversations
it's been a
about that.
while,
I mean, right now, like within the city campus or the city facilities, then, we definitely can do that. But it's definitely something we could talk about.
Mhm.
I mean, it'd be cool to set up a show, somewhere else as a way of just publicizing the collection and city services.
And then if we start turning the library hall gallery into more of an official gallery space where we're getting artists, we're dealing with the sales of their pieces that hang there, we get that commission. And then like I've kind of been researching ways of how we would ship, if we would probably ship and pack. And so that would be really helpful, like for loans as well, just to know how we're going to translate that. And like it would be good experience. But I also did with the Women Leadership Scholarship that I got from the city. I did a graduate certificate program at George Washington University in Washington, D.C. that was all about museum collections care and management. So like now I kind of know how to preserve and when we need a conservator to like make sure all these pieces are going to last for years and years and years. So
it was scary learning all the things that we've been doing.
We've been doing, Raj.
Mostly me, I'm afraid. But now we're on the right track.
it in a manual, so that you can help.
It's true. We have some guidelines now that it's like our Bible, we have to stick by
Yeah.
for handling art.
Yeah, but anyway, let us
Any other
know.
questions or?
And let us know how we can collaborate if you have ideas for. Yeah. projects
Just
or
a
anything.
comment, I think it'd be great if, maybe there already is a budget in the new city center,
Oh, yeah.
you know, to have some nice collection pieces, maybe James Christensen, maybe others in our city center that's part of the collection, but
That'd be great.
I don't know if they've thought of that already or not.
Yeah, that's true. Like with that donation, there's gonna be a lot more wall space.
Would that be
That's-
like a Ryan Clark question?
For sure.
Bryn?
Yeah.
Because we've got this really newer piece in Library Hall, you can see, we didn't talk about it, but it's a portrait of Stella Welsh, like our female mayor that was in, and I think that would be the perfect kind of art to be in the city center, right?
Yeah.
Like, and James C. Christensen and yeah.
We should
Good.
commission portraits of all of the city council.
What kind of art do you have at the Sierra? Do you have stuff that's been donated? You guys have like a rotation?
We do, we have a large collection as well,
Yeah.
and right now, a lot of it is on the.
Give you all the power. Don't let it go to your head.
We, you know, a lot of it is on our walls as well,
Mhm.
but yeah. It's probably similar in size
Yeah.
collection.
I feel like, Orem's got some awesome options for art.
Yeah.
Museums like the UVU Museum's incredible. Going out of the Bastion Mansion, the Sarah's got great
Yeah.
stuff. We've got great stuff.
Well, and I liked your, let's have the little handouts that explain, because quite frankly, I didn't get any of that. I mean, I got a little bit, but until I went to BYU and I had to take that GE class, and then I was like, I love this stuff,
Yeah.
it was
It's
like-
fascinating.
It is, it's been really fun, and we've had a lot of fun with it, as we've seen, particularly families with young kids, engaging with our collection.
So we've got some social media stuff planned with these two to kind of, promote it. But I wanted to bring them in and have them talk to you guys just to see if there's any connections, ideas. So just be stewing on that. Different ways we can get the word out.
So did we miss a question over
I
here?
was just wondering if there was a mechanism for donating funds specifically to your work as opposed to
I don't
library
know.
or whatever.
They should be
We
able to
do
earmark
have-
to our, what's the foundation norm?
The Orem Community Foundation.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, I would bet you could earmark what you
That would
wanted.
be
that
cool.
way.
And I know
Yeah.
we do have a donation account, I believe, set up at the library or through the
Friends of the
foundation.
library or something.
I feel like
Yeah.
Bryce would, the library
Yeah.
director would probably know how to handle that.
Cause I was on the library commission before. and
Oh,
we
yeah.
talked
Oh, yeah.
about that, of having
Oh,
this
good.
fundraiser, mechanism or
Yeah.
the library to get donations.
Thank you guys so much.
Great
You're welcome.
stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
pleasure.
really, it's really great.
Here.
Yeah.
Good job.
Thanks for. Very good.
You covering this
Yeah, that sounds good.
series? Is that you?
Yeah, we'll talk about that a little bit. I was hoping that Dave Blackington was going to be here so we could talk about the concert series, but was there any suggestions for improvement as we're gearing up? It's about time to open up the applications to start getting the bands. So just, any thoughts or ideas on that as far as maybe some things we want to try or look into?
Speaking of which, I've been getting a lot of emails from bands
Uh-huh.
who have performed before. So I can send them your way or let me know. I used to.
You used to-
on that.
That's-
So a lot of people have me in there, I guess the Rolodex or something.
Their email rolled it.
That's what makes.
I guess one of the biggest things, did we like the variety that we had last year? Or do we want to mix it up? Because I know that, Dave, this has kind of been his baby. And, he tries to get a little something for everybody, across the 6 weeks. I didn't know if anybody who had attended, had any thoughts on it.
I like that approach. Just something for everyone, but
Mix it up.
I just got a text from somebody and because I'm kind of new to this and maybe fill me in on what I don't know. So there's a Come Together Festival on Friday and Saturday, August 16th and 17th.
In August? Uh-huh. Yeah, so that's the like the big finale of this series. That's how it ends.
Okay. So yeah, they were just asking, I'll talk to you about that. They were just asking.
Okay. Yeah, cool. I mean, going, each week last year, I think for me, it's just more about building the audience, doing things to get more people there. We had the farmer's market. This was our first year of doing the farmer's market, and that was great. But, how do we build on that success and momentum?
Do we have bands that are considered like regulars or crowd favorites that come every single year?
Yeah, Dave's got kind of maybe like 2 or 3 that he's like, oh, we got to have them. Like the Wasatch show band is a big hit. People like that one a lot. And they're Lindy and the Hops is a very popular one. They do kind of like 1940s type music.
A lot of it too is they have their own following
Exactly.
that is
I was just
good to
wondering if we
have.
have like 3 or 4 slots that are set up for those kinds of
Mhm.
bands. And then we're making a point to take the other 3 or 4 slots, whatever, and rotate
Oh, that's a good idea.
new performers through that. Maybe to discover a new
Yeah, try something else.
town sensation.
Yeah, like the bagpipe bands, right?
Absolutely.
I would say if this is, I'm looking at advertising from last year,
Uh,
I would not recognize what kind of music any of this is.
Uh-huh.
And I don't recognize, so like Geneva Road, EB House, the Wasatch Show Band, Lindy and the Hops. Right, I mean, maybe I would think, oh, just because of that microphone, maybe it's 50s,
Uh-huh.
but it probably isn't. So maybe you should just like have a subtitle.
like what kind of music it is.
They're gonna be doing.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Yeah, give a little more information about the bands. Yeah, that's a good idea.
That, when is that review that he's gonna,
So we'll probably open the applications like this next week,
oh, okay.
and then we leave it open for a couple weeks, and then we do it like mid-March. So, but yeah, if anyone wants to be part of it.
I know he was, yeah, last time he said if anyone wants to be there when we kind of go through and pick them.
We had a ton. We had, I think, over 60 applicants last year. So we watched a lot of bands. Yeah, for 6 slots. So there's a lot of broken hearts.
By video.
Yeah, they have to send a clip. Yeah.
Do you prioritize those that are from Orem or can they be?
Yeah, we haven't really done that. Dave has kind of just set it up as like, who's the best, But
Who's Dave?
he's on the commission, Dave Blackington, former BYU band director. Oh, yeah. 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 Yeah, sorry. Yeah, Dave Blackington. Yeah. If it was up to him, it'd be Dave Petty or Tom Petty cover bands every week. Yeah.
For the sake of asking who that was once.
But you've since been educated.
Like,
Yeah, well, those are good. Those are good suggestions. We'll take those and run with them, and then it'll probably be about the same time as our March meeting that we do the review.
I was just curious how, like, what the selection process was. That was something.
Mhm.
Might be 1 or 2 spots. If there were.
Kind of the hometown. Yeah.
right, is there a reason that you only do it 6 times when there are 60 people? Are they paying these people?
Yeah, we pay each group $400. It's kind of just like it's not much, but it's what we have. And it's mainly we do the 6 weeks because it's like right after Orem Fest. It's about 6 weeks until school starts, and that's just kind of been the window that we do.
Aren't we expending it? No.
Now we're just gonna keep it to the same. Yeah.
And then how long do they perform?
They perform up to an hour and a half. Yeah. And it coincides with. Yeah, Scott.
Pete, so we've got a bunch of bands and stuff that are getting the care tax, and I don't think they would charge anything. Like our 2 pipe bands, for instance, would be happy to come, and I thought we were going to extend this all the way through October.
No, we talked about having live music in the farmers market, but not necessarily doing it as part of the concert series.
Mm-hmm.
And so we talked about this is a great way for our care groups to get some exposure and give back to the community and all that good stuff.
What is the difference between having it in the farmers market and having it in the concert series?
Well, it would be the first thing, and then also probably just the level of advertising that we would do. And we try to make the concert series kind of a more prestigious thing, And then people are just performing as part of the farmer's market, then that's more kind of low key.
Okay, but we're gonna keep that stage open though for everybody. I
Yeah,
mean,
that's
for
the
others.
plan. Yeah.
Yeah, I see. Okay. We're gonna advertise that, or how are we gonna fill it?
Well, the
With
thing
the-
we talked about last time is reaching out to our care groups,
Yeah,
seeing if those would be, that'd be the place to start, is seeing if they would want to perform and, do different things in the market.
uh-huh. And I have a question then, why are we waiting till after the Orem Fest? Couldn't we start earlier? You know what I mean?
No, then you're in May, right?
Yeah,
And you got families, May is crazy.
May is yeah, I would say like the reason why is because of school ending and like Memorial Day and then all the focus of Foreign Press for that first week. But do we start the week after, like right after that?
Yeah.
So yeah, I would say leading up to it would just be.
Yeah.
And especially for our parks team who is prepping and preparing all of the parks and everything for Fest.
Okay. So your people then, or the Orem City people, are gonna have a whole audio situation there all set up.
Either us or the farmers market people have it too. They have a whole stage set up.
Oh,
Between the two of us, we'll get it covered.
uh-huh. You have it, the farmers market, is that in the actual farmers market area though?
Not all, no.
That's-
We talked to Kelly and he's willing to do either.
Oh, is he?
Whatever
Okay.
works best for the group, because smaller acts are maybe better in the market, bigger acts on the stage, that kind of thing.
Oh, right. Okay. I see. All right.
Cool.
Sounds good.
Okay. Well, yeah,
Extra in the parade, right?
yeah, you're gonna do the parade, right, Scott?
What?
Your bagpipe band is gonna do the parade.
The parade?
Um,
Are you talking about the Orem Fest parade?
yeah.
I assume so. Last year, they didn't, I can't remember why. Didn't think they got their application in on time or something. But they have been in it in the past.
Yeah, it'd be great. We'd love to have them.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. Yeah, we're trying to get them on one of the care tax, groups, so they'll have some money to buy a few of their instruments and whatnot, but just trying to get them their nonprofit status. When does the care tax open up?
I think in March. It's probably just a few weeks away.
Okay. All right.
Okay,
Sounds
cool.
good.
The next item is the Arts Ambassador check-in. So, oh yeah.
Another thing that we talked last year about trying to get some cultural variety in the summer concert series by specifically trying to recruit or engage, like Latin bands or whatever, hip hop bands, whatever kinds of cultural variation we can put in it, so it's not just the big band and some rock bands. But I'm not saying that that's what it was, but you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
And I just wonder if we could impress that upon the audition committee.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
That we're looking for
Symphony in
something.
there.
Yeah, we really mix it up, we didn't really have many of those bands apply, so probably the first step would be making sure that we go cast a broad net.
Right.
Yeah.
I just don't know if those communities know we're even doing the auditions.
No, exactly.
Let's get the information out that that's actually happening.
For sure.
And there is a special day in March. Are they bringing music? What is that? Thing that's in Library Hall, March. Dia de Mexico.
Oh, March? Oh,
Isn't that March? Let me find it.
no,
Yeah.
that's Dia de los Muertos.
Oh, she just sent it to me. I have to do that. Here it is. 16th of March. Mexico and Utah. Are they bringing music?
Is this through Janet? Is Janet putting this on? Yeah. Okay. I haven't, this is the first time hearing of it.
She
Yeah.
sent me the invite.
Oh, nice.
Maybe, invite them to audition.
Yeah.
It's in Spanish.
Oh, yeah.
I'll send that to you.
Yeah, send that to me.
But I think that's what you're talking about.
Yeah,
If we go,
very
if we go to this or go to somewhere else, let's
That's really
invite them to
cool.
audition and send in a tape or
Right.
Yeah, that's cool.
get on the radar. Yeah.
Put on the application, I don't know if that's ready to go, but while we're not necessarily prioritizing Orem groups, it might be nice to be able to say, who are our Orem groups?
Oh, yeah. Build that
Right,
database.
build that into
Mhm.
the things, one, so that, yeah, a database, but also then if we have a spot and we're like, we'd like to feature something very Orem,
Yeah.
right? Who are they?
Mhm.
So we can filter for that.
That's a great idea. I love that. Because, you know, we have different events throughout the year that we need live music for, you
Right
know.
here.
That's great. And just real quick with the Arts Ambassador, are we done with that one? Do we feel like we're good to go on that?
Mhm.
With the Arts Ambassador check-in, you got the emails for the groups. I'm just trying to find phone numbers. We have to go through all the applications and like dig out the information. But has anyone made contact or been able to connect with their
Yeah.
groups?
Yeah.
And were they receptive to you?
Yeah, I contacted, well, I sent out emails to all three of my groups and got grateful responses from two of them. I haven't heard from the third, the
Mhm.
storytelling group, but they sent me performance dates,
Oh, nice.
and some of which are in our library, and so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 performance dates for the contemporary dance. And I guess my question is, in terms of like promoting them and I mean, should I be, I mean, they have a February 29th at the Orem Library. And then they're in Provo and they're in Lehigh and places around. Should I be engaged in promoting all of those? You know, like on social media and whatever.
Yeah.
Because I'm engaged with the group and our CARES tax money is supporting the group and those performances as well, probably, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I think we would give preference to things that are happening in Orem.
Right.
But you know, if there was a open slot or something, we could do other things. It's just also just kind of getting the word out about the group, not necessarily any specific performance, but like, hey, this group exists. If you're interested in supporting them, if you're interested in joining them,
Yeah.
that kind of stuff too. So that's
Right.
great. I'm glad
And
that they were receptive.
The Utah Shakespeare does a schools tour, but they're going to be they give their closing performance in our library in April. So.
Oh, awesome. Yeah. So we'll just be sure we do like extra advertising for that.
They gave me the name of the booking manager so he can send posters and stuff like that.
Uh-huh.
Is that the kind of stuff that makes
Absolutely.
it know if libraries was creating their own posters for the performances that are taking place in here. Or getting other posters would be.
Yeah, they might, whatever, like if we use their stuff or we use the stuff the library creates, we'll just make sure that we get it out on the city general pages as well. You know, get it in the newsletter when we can.
So we want to be putting up posters like in Smith's window and Macy's and all around to get people to be there.
Yeah, that's definitely a great tactic to get the word out.
Okay. All right.
Cool.
That's good, though. I mean, one of the first tasks we had was to like bring it back to this group, so this group knows what they do.
Mhm.
And that was very helpful, just to know that, well, that was their last performance and,
Yeah.
you know, and then letting Pete know so he can market these care things to.
Because that was a big question with the Shakespeare. Yeah.
Of these communications.
Yeah. Because we weren't sure what the Shakespeare Festival was doing in Orem, like what was the connection. So
Yeah,
thank you
I
for
mean,
finding that out.
I'm on their email list and stuff, so I know that they do school tours every year.
Mhm.
Yeah, they're doing Hamlet.
Oh, nice. To be or not to be.
I don't know about taking that
To the elementary schools. A lot of murder.
Modified
Right.
and like, they don't usually go all out 4 hours.
I'm sure this is a cut version.
That's right. The kid friendly.
Yeah,
Mhm.
but because I think they only cast like maybe 5 or 6 actors to do the play.
Mhm.
So they're all playing multiple roles and stuff like that.
Oh,
So it's
cool.
all interesting. Yeah, I'll get this over to you, Peter.
Okay, thank you.
I contacted mine. I did not hear back from Kent yet, at the symphony. But the others that I had were the Military History Days. That is in conjunction with the Freedom Festival at the Sierra Park during the 4th, 5th, and 6th this year. Or those are their dates, and they're kind of on the north end of the park and the last year and this year, they're really focused on World War II conflict specifically, vehicles and different things, and they're really trying hard to make it educational. Even having a QR code on that vehicle that you can scan and see what that might have done or where that might have been and then they interactive exhibits throughout the vehicles as well, to teach. That's in conjunction with my second one, which is the Colonial Heritage Festival. And they consume the rest of the park on those same 3 days. And they bring these reenactors in from all over the country. And they're very specific colonial, they're the real deal from the dress to the presentation. And they have educational opportunities in all of the tents and things, from blacksmithing to woodworking to broom making to pottery to, all kinds of things. That there's bread and lemonade and other things you can buy there. But
Are these vehicles that the kids can go and like climb on and?
Some of them on the
Explore.
military, yeah, some of them they allow you to interact that closely with,
Yeah.
and others are for display, but.
We just used to have, at the school that I taught at, we used to have, they used to bring fire trucks to the school
Mhm.
once a year. And the kids would be out, they'd be all over them, hanging off of them, and just like, it was the best day of the year for them, they love that stuff.
Yeah.
We have an
Yeah.
event like that where we do that same thing. Yeah.
So, and they're gearing up, that's the 4th, 5th, and 6th as well, at the Sierra Park. And then the Utah Valley Symphony, was the other one, and then Sierra, he's hard to get a hold of.
He's busy. He's a busy guy.
But those were my 4 that
Cool.
I'll
Awesome.
report back on the symphony next time.
Anybody else
I
have?
actually just heard back.
Oh, just now?
From the from the storytelling, and
Yeah.
all she was happy to hear from you. I'll be sending you more information.
Cool. That's great. The connection has been
So
made.
they're, I mean, when you have an arts organization and someone calls and says, gets a hold of you and says, "Can I help you?" It's like, somebody say, "No,
Yeah.
we don't need your help. We're self-sufficient."
Yeah.
Pete,
Yeah.
so yeah, I contacted mine. I'm in 2 of them, so that was easy.
Yeah.
Pipe band, the Thomas Cordner Memorial Pipe Band, they're performing at the Orem Library on the 14th of March.
St. Patrick's Day.
16th, actually, they're playing at the St. Patrick's Day Parade, but that's up in Salt Lake. And the 18th, they're playing at the Provo Library. So anyway, but they want to be more involved here in Utah, and I'll get them in Orem. I'll get them to apply on time to be in the Orem Fest Parade.
Perfect.
The Garden Valley Pipe Band, I contacted them. I actually wrote with them an article on the 2 pipe bands that'll show that I guess has already come out.
That's right. It was great. It was a great article. It came out in the newsletter, the February newsletter.
Yeah. So I need to contact them again and see when they're going to be doing their performances and whatnot. But so anyway, yeah, I've made contact. So just wanted to report.
Awesome. Thank you, Scott. Did anybody else hear from their groups? I heard back, yeah.
The Heart and Soul seems like a big deal.
They're all over the state. Like when you look at their calendar, they're everywhere.
Yeah, they don't even need to Orem care tax on their supporters because they have like all the big supporters. But as far as the art stroll, like for saying like music,
Mhm.
they do a music stroll in Sugar House, I think that this is the 9th year that they did it
Mhm.
this year. So I asked them, would you be interested in one in Orem? Because I think that'd be great. And if they connected it with the art, that would be cool, but I haven't heard from it.
Okay.
But, yeah, so my two were Heart and Soul and then the Chantinettes. And my impression was like, we would be, let's see. Heart and Soul would be supporting Orem because they're already so big. And Orem supports the Chantinettes.
Mhm.
They very prominently display attacks,
Mhm.
perform in the library.
Yeah.
But I haven't, are you sure that that is the contact, Jackie Wayland?
That's what we had on file.
Okay.
But if it's wrong, let's fix it on the.
Well, I just
spreadsheet.
think because someone, I thought Annette had asked, it was like the director, but maybe she's a different person, had asked my daughter to play harp for them for their thing, which didn't work.
Cool.
She was doing all her college auditions, so she couldn't do it, but anyway, so I verified what I sent and contacted my neighbor too, being just like, she's in it.
Yeah.
She also hasn't got it, but must be she, but, so that's my report. I'll give more next time too.
Cool, thanks. Well,
I have
awesome
I
job
have a
there.
neighbor who I think is in the Chantinettes.
Okay.
I think it's a women's choir of like
Yeah.
120
Yeah.
women. And we just drove up to the Orem, this up in Sandy to see Sound of Music, and she came with us. She was talking about a concert that's coming up. It's like
I just saw a thing for it.
it's like
Yeah, it's soon.
it sounded like.
We need to find out when that is. I got it. I didn't put this on.
I'll follow up with that.
The funny thing is that they say when they come to the library, they have very glittery outfits. And the Chantinettes have been there because there's glitter every, yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's like pixie dust, exactly. Well, awesome. Thank you all for, doing so well, reaching out to your groups. I think this is gonna be really successful. And then just the last thing, since we're at time, is does anyone know of any art businesses that we could feature? We do this thing called Small Business Saturday where we go and film with a business and show, the community what they do. And we were thinking like it would be nice to do an art business if it's like an art supply store.
Pete,
Here, hold on one second, Scott.
West side of State Street on 8th North. They used to be down in Provo,
Uh-huh.
the little Mexican restaurant is now. And they relocated.
Art and Frame, yeah.
Art and Frame, is that it?
Well, it was Provo Art and Frame, but I think they've changed the name
Anyway,
in
he
Orem.
seemed really nice, so I don't know if that's.
Yeah, that'd be a good one. Art and Frame.
I just happened to.
They got me thinking, the library folks that were just here about that. I still don't think very many people realize that the new Museum of Art for UVU is in the Bastion Mansion.
Mhm.
Like and so I don't know that that would be appropriate here or not, but I don't think a lot of people know that that's open and that exists over there. So.
Yeah, when she was saying an art walk, I think that would be, it's
Well-
more of an art drive, I guess.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
But-
wasn't that the first mega viral video that Orem got was featuring the Bastion
was it?
Mansion?
Yeah, we've done
Was the
2
first.
updates on it, but I think because of the
Yeah.
displays are always rotating,
Yeah.
it's always a good thing to
You can
go and
just-
do. Yeah.
But yeah, that was one of the first viral videos that Orem City got was featuring that.
That's awesome.
Sorry, Scott, go ahead. What were you gonna say?
I don't know if they already said this, but Aspen Art.
Aspen Art?
I think would be a good one to do there, right next to Allen's Art. I mean, Allen's.
Oh, the camera's place?
photography. Yeah,
Perfect.
actually owned by them. Allen's owns it.
Same group, same family.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Maybe you could do like a 2-for-1. Photos and
Yes, yes.
okay. Well, awesome. I think that's everything. Thank you all for coming and for your good ideas.
Thank you, lunch.
Of course.
Yes, thanks for lunch.
Adam, can I talk to you for
Yes.
5-10 minutes?
Okay.
Hey, thanks for tuning in, Scott.
Okay, you bet. We'll see ya.